Okay, yeah. The previous video stopped when I had said about my birth family, parts of my birth family being one-sided. So let's continue back where I left off with that. Like I say, many friends know many people. That's talking about myself right now. I have many friends. I know many people, and like I say, we all got our struggles, or at least most of us. How all have our struggles, have our trials and tribulations, have our oppression. And I'm telling you that I think for me it's just time to make that music that's not pretty, that's not nice. That what I mean by not pretty, not nice. Like I say, if I didn't say it in the last video, the music that when you first listen to it, it's not pretty, it's not nice. You have to really, dig in it and try to take, it's like it's like saying do beauty behind the madness to a certain degree. You have to dig in there as an analyst, and you have to take out this and take out that, and then dissect it and explain how it's still positive, which I can do with anything pretty much, and so forth and so forth. But I'm saying I think it's time to make that music that at the beginning when you listen to it, it's not pretty, it's not nice, and it's just gonna and it's just gonna teach you. This is what I've been going through. This is my oppression. This is my struggle. Because I don't know how much my music that I've been releasing over the past year or two has been like that. Has been like, I'm actually telling you my struggle. I think a majority of this music has just been telling you, has just been promoting a lot of positivity. I don't know how much of it has really been telling you my struggle. Songs like "To Be Close to People" and "Sympathy" off of the Viewpoints Part 1 are those songs that actually do tell my struggle, tell my oppression, because legitimately, when I said, and "To Be Close to People" Part 2, when I said, when I said, who wants to be close to someone and consider family just to be stabbed in the back? Because legitimately, I feel like with my birth family to a certain degree, like I got my struggles, my trials and tribulations, my oppressions when it comes to that entire thing. It's like, to where when it comes, and I like to where it comes to, where I have been stabbed in the back. Like I said before, I have been, like I said in the song, not the song, but the video title of the Viewpoints, not the Viewpoints, because almost every last one of these titles Viewpoints, but not the Viewpoints. When it came to what was it? Signs of the Times that I made back in the beginning of June. When I had said on Signs of Times, I actually forgot what I said now. I keep forgetting to a certain degree. Oh yeah, when I said that I've been yelled at for doing exactly what I was told to do. Like legitimately, part of my struggle, part of my oppression is that I have been yelled at plenty of times for doing exactly what I was supposed to do. Indefinitely. Not only that, but I've seen it to where I've been around people, certain people, majority of the time, my birth family, and I've seen their hypocrisy, their double standards. I've seen a lot of garbage that needs to be exposed, and I've been around other people, other friends, and I've seen their hypocrisy, and I'm like, but again, if I'm talking about you in any of this music, I'm going again, I address this to your face as well. If I can't address it to your face, I'm going to call you up on Snapchat or call you up wherever else, and I'm going to talk like, hey, this song is coming out, this is about you in this type of way. I'm not going to have you listen to it, wonder if I'm subliminally dissing you. I'm going to call you up and be like, yo, this is about you, that's about you, this is about you, that's about you. Why? Because I'm not a two-faced person, I can send subliminals all day long if I wanted to, but I want to. It's like, here's the thing. I'm obviously not going to mention your name, most likely. I'm not going to mention your name, but I'm definitely going to call you up and be like, yo, when I talked about, being screwed like this, being screwed like that, and this type of instance when it comes to somebody, I would say, like I say, doing exactly what I was told and still getting yelled at. And seeing everybody's double standards and stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna call you on the phone and be like, yo, like this line was about you, that line was about you, Because I really want people to be aware of their garbage. I want people to be aware of their garbage, their sin. I want people to be aware of all the wrong that they do, and of which they think is right, but is really wrong. I want people to be aware of it, for real. And I look at it as, I would rather die knowing that I did what I could to help you, help myself, and spread awareness to your issues, rather than keep it all to myself. Rather than keep it all to myself, not tell anybody, and just let you continuously go down the path of destruction onward to God knows where. Because I do believe, like I said, it is written in the Bible somewhere where it does say that, like, if you know what's right, and instead of telling this and that person what's right, you choose to keep it to yourself, the blood of their afterlife is on your hands. I'm pretty sure that's written somewhere in the Bible where it's like you knew right from wrong, and you could have told this and that person, but instead of telling them, you just let them, you just let them fall astray. The blood of their afterlife is on your hands. So, and if you ask me, that would definitely be in the Bible for a good reason, to teach us how to, how to really care for each other and care about each other and hold each other accountable for things. And that's what I'm trying to say, because in my lifetime, the way things have gone for me is where you hold people accountable for their actions, and they ridicule you legitimately. Like they just, like, they look at you as disrespectful for holding them accountable. The way it's been going, in my life. I try to hold people accountable for their garbage, and they look at me as I'm crazy for doing that. Like, I'm sorry, the evidence is here. Evidence all around you. Because for me, I'm telling you, God knows, as my Lord and Savior, as my witness, I am not perfect. I hold my own self accountable. I'm not saying other people can't hold me accountable too, but I'm definitely telling you that I know my boundaries. I know my limits. I know what to and to not say. I know how to immediately apologize when I believe I've offended somebody. I know how to be real with people, how to pray for people, and just how to try to own every second to a better tomorrow, and realizing that every second, every moment that I'm alive, that I'm breathing air through my lungs, is an opportunity to make it right with people, and to legitimately, preach this, preach that, share this, share that, expose this, expose that. Legitimately, every single second, every single moment, you have to have if you ask me, you have to, a good majority of this has to do with your spirituals when it comes to, I would say, a good majority of this wisdom has to do with your spirituals. Or it's just common sense, really. But a good majority of it, I think, is both. It's common sense and it's spirituals. But I'm telling you, a lot of people's faith are one-sided. I study people. I study people's actions. I study their moves. I study how they move. Through their life and through their trials and tribulations, how they think, how they talk, how they act. I study this stuff, and I see a lot of people's faith is very one-sided. I'm not even joking. I see a lot of people's faith is very one-sided, and again, this stuff needs to be discussed. This stuff needs to be discussed, exposed, and we need to, again, try to help that person and all these other people to a better tomorrow under Jesus Christ Almighty. I'm telling you, this stuff is not hard. It really is not hard. To break those shackles, it ain't hard. Or like it might appear hard, but truly, if you ask me, truly, it's not hard. But definitely, I'm just saying, like, legitimately, I know all this stuff. I've been around these people. I've seen how they move. I see all the waste talk which they talk, all the garbage which they condone, and it's like, are you kidding me? Where'd you get this from? Where'd you get that from? Because some people think that to be young, you need to, move around sleazy, I guess, and what I mean by being, like, move around sleazy, like, some people think that, it's natural when you're young to not, I guess, not believe in commitment, I guess, you could say. Like, to be chasing after one-nighters. To be chasing, and I mean one-nighters as in trashy one-nighters, trashy affairs. Like, some people think that when you're young, it's natural and that's what you're supposed to do. They think that's the way of which you live, that you're, because I've seen them protected under stuff like, dude, you gotta live your life. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people's faith is one-sided. And the thing is, I've told everything I'm telling you now to people who told me these things about, like, that's how they live their life. I'm not two-faced. I go out there, I preach to people all the time. Preach to my friends all the time. Preach to my family all the time. You know. So what I'm trying to say when it comes to, like, thinking that, moving that type of way, when it comes to, oh, dude, like, you know, you got to go out there and, like, you know, you got to live your life, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, thinking that chasing after cheating affair side flings and all these trashy affair one-nighters, to think that that's living life. You know, to think that, you know, that's what life is about. Think like, oh, I mean, I've seen them protected under stuff like that. Protected under stuff like, you know, oh, man, you gotta live your life, you know. I've seen them protected under stuff like that. And I've called them out face to face right there. I've been in the same car with them, calling them out right then and there on their garbage. Because it's not right. Legitimately. And I'm telling you, people, and I'm telling you, and I've been around those people where they think this stuff is right and it's not right. You know, I've been around it to where, I'm telling you, one of the biggest things God knows is my judge and my witness I do every day is I try my best to hold people accountable for all their actions. That's what I try to do. I try to hold people accountable for their actions. That's one of the biggest things I try to do every day, hold people accountable for their actions. But a lot of people can be crazy for doing that exact thing. No, I'm not crazy for doing it. I'm doing what's real. That's real. Holding people accountable for their actions is real. Like I say, I'm not exempt from this. I am not exempt from this. You can try to hold me accountable for stuff too. Like I say, I'm not exempt from this. I want us all to learn, build, and grow, prosper better together for a better tomorrow. Jesus Christ salvation. I want us all to have that life. For real. I'm not exempt from this. I'm not exempt from critique. I'm not exempt from, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not exempt from critique. I'm not exempt from people telling me, you know, telling me right. I'm not exempt from people telling me how to better do these things. I'm not exempt from listening to people's advice. Because I tell people, okay, you know, thank you for your advice. I do it. 19 years old. One of the biggest things I got to get off my chest here. 19 years old. Thankful to God. 19 years old. Thank God for young life. Love young life. And I mean young life as in, like, thankful to God for my young life. But the same thing, shout out, God bless the Christian program titled Young Life. God bless Miss Gruen, who is also a instructor of Young Life. Shout out, God bless you, so forth and so forth. But the thing is, again, God bless my young life. 19 years old, you know, God bless it. But I'm telling you, the thing about that is that at 19 years old, I have already said before that I don't exempt myself from learning new things. I know I'm young. Thankful to God, I'm young. By the way, that's my dog scratching at her scratching her, I think, climate cool bed that she got a few weeks ago, and so forth and so forth. So you hear scratching in the background. That's my dog scratching at her climate cool bed. Shout out, God bless all the dog owners, by the way. But as I was saying, at 19 years old, I don't exempt myself from learning new things. At 19 years old, I don't exempt myself from, you know, learning new things and, you know, going out there and experiencing certain things. I don't exempt myself from legitimately being corrected. I don't exempt myself from, you know, all this stuff all this stuff that's designed to make me a better person. But I need people to understand the difference between 19 and 9 years old. Because a lot of people still try to treat me as if I'm 9 years old. I'm not 9. I'm 19. Shout out to all 9 years old, though. So, sorry. Shout out to all the 9-year-olds, though. Shout out to all the people, all my younglings that are in elementary and middle school, though. But my point being is that, you know, like I said, I don't exempt myself from this stuff, you know, but, you know, because I'm all, but, like I say, 19 years old, the point I'm trying to say at 19 years old is that, you know, like I said, I don't exempt myself from taking order and direction at 19 years old. I don't do that. But I definitely need people to understand is they need to understand how far their control and authority, like they need to understand how far their authority goes at 19 years old. When it comes to their authority and direction over me, they need to understand how far that goes. Because, you know, I say thank you for this and that advice, but I've seen people tell me to do this, tell me to do that, and I'm questioning, and they want to call me disrespectful and disobedient and all that other stuff. And I'm telling you, like, you really, again, have the conversations, explore the dialogue of the conversation, and you definitely further understand what I'm trying to say here. Like I'm telling you, I've seen people try to treat me like I'm 9 years old. And I'll go further into that in other episodes of other viewpoints, but this stuff will also be preached in other music. Like the point is, at 19 years old, I'm not exempt from learning new things. At 19 years old, I'm not exempt from following